Okay, so we're gonna be potting these now. So again, this is how they should kind of look if you are trying to do it the way we're showing you here. And with the leftover, well, actually, first let me just you kind of want to just like look at the cutting and see how far it's gonna go. So it looks, and you just gotta eyeball it. So you need to start off with some some potting soil or some cocoa coir. Just tap it down, because you don't want it to be loose. You don't want it to be like too much compaction, but not enough. And then you just kind of like set it in there like that, and see, it pretty much comes right to the tape.
Right on.
It doesn't have to be perfect. That's another thing. Is
And you're not gonna shove that cutting into the dirt, right?
I'm
Or is
gonna
that or
I'm going to pour gently around the cutting
okay?
the dirt.
So we're just showing our or my brother's technique here.
Yeah.
This
And since it
is
already
how
has
he
that
does
first
it.
layer,
Yeah.
just putting that second layer is just kind of like an insurance policy.
Yeah.
And so you can do this with your hands. I'm actually just doing this with a little
scoop.
scoop for, I don't know, just to kind of be more professional, I guess. But yeah, you just get it roughly to the tape and
All right.
and pack it down and make sure that all the cells have a little bit of dirt coming to the,
You can see the dirt through
yeah,
the holes. Yeah.
and make sure the cutting is just not just,
You don't want it too loose, but you don't
yeah,
want it to be like compacted in there either.
yeah, you just kind of work with the cutting, and because there's no roots yet, so
Yeah.
this is your time to get it centered
Yeah.
in the pot, because you put it if you put it kind of like at an angle,
Yeah.
it's gonna grow like that, and you
Yeah.
can't fix it after that. It's gonna grow at that awkward angle. So I mean, you once you get it out of the pot, you can
Yeah.
force it, but you know, so that's pretty much it. I do water these in for the first time, and then obviously I don't.
Do you use any kind of special water or fertilizer when you
There was a
in the
time.
establishing period?
There was a time when I was getting really. I wanted to see how far I could push it, and I was using reverse osmosis water. But honestly, I only use reverse osmosis if I'm going to apply a root enhancer that's fungal or bacteria based,
Oh,
which would be
okay.
like Azos or mycorrhizal fungi, or the Azos bacteria. But I don't use those very often anymore. I did use them, and they do work. So this is my label. Um, I bought this off eBay from Herman. Um, and I'm just putting the name and the date. Herman's a really good grower on eBay. I just appreciate him. He does a really good job, and I think he's a good, honest seller. And I've never met him. I don't know him, but I trust him. So
And you've bought from him before in the
I bought
past.
from him before in the past. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he tends to give really good cut. These are his cuttings, so
Yeah.
he's not. Again, no one's telling me to tell you this. I'm just telling you how I do it. I order from eBay. When the forum used to be around, you can even contact rare fruit growers. I'm sure if there's a rare fruit grower club in your area. There isn't one here where we are, so I have to do it like this. I have to buy from people online that I don't necessarily know, but he has a good review, and like I said, I've ordered from him in the past, and I trust him. So
Yeah.
buy from somebody that you trust.
Cool.
Is all I'm saying.
And if you can, and you know someone personally,
Right. That's always the
that's
best
always the
option,
best way. Yeah.
If somebody personally has a really good tasting fruit, and you want to try this method out, ask them for cuttings.
Yeah.
And I personally have never, actually, maybe I did ask one person for cuttings, but I was a lot younger. I didn't have a lot of experience, so I felt awkward going to somebody's house and saying, "Hey, can I cut on your tree?" But actually, one time I saw a guy, he was pruning a fig tree, and I just asked him if I could have some of the branches, and he just looked at me like, "Yeah, go ahead, take as much as you want. I'm throwing these in the trash." So that was the first cuttings I ever got my hands on, or one of the first cuttings I ever got my hands on.
Cool. Yeah. Back in the day, we actually used to get cuttings from UC Davis. So anybody who's been in the game for a while probably remembers that you could get, back then the public had access to UC Davis online, and you could order from their germplasm repository. That's what it's called.
That's where a lot of that's where a lot of the old collectors and fig enthusiasts.
Yeah.
That's where they have their specimens from. I know that. But really, it's just fun sharing.
And you mentioned the Figs for Fun forum earlier. That was a big deal.
That was actually
Yeah, that was.
Unfortunately, that's no longer around. But there are other forums. I'm not a part of any of those forums, but they are,
It's a good place to get information.
It's a good place to ask questions. Ask for help. Ask for, if somebody there lives close to you and they like fruit trees and you like fruit trees, you guys can help each other. It's just nice.
Yeah.
It's just like any other hobby. You bond over it. And I actually do water them in for the first time. Once I've potted them, I water them and I let them drain, and then I transport them inside. So I'm gonna go ahead and pot these up, and then I'll show you, I guess, how I water them and where I put them.
All right. Okay. It's pretty easy, straightforward. That's all that, all the extra steps, all the extra, things that we do so that we can get good success. That's just kind of reassurance, and then you can sleep at night too, knowing that you did a professional job. So that's it right there. And you can do this with any fig cutting, really, any variety.
You can do this with a lot of things. You can do this with tomatoes. You can do this with I haven't actually tried it, but I know you can do this with guavas,
pomegranates.
There's a lot of propagating books also online that I have one propagating book by, I believe his name is Too Good. I don't know his first name, but he goes extensively in that book, not just on figs or fruits, but literally on any kind of plants, house plants, cactuses. That's just the book that I found that has a lot of nice pictures in it, has a lot of good examples. There's also just a lot of videos on YouTube now. There's way more than when I started.
Yeah.
There's some really good videos that a couple of universities have put up on YouTube. I can't remember if they're the colleges in the South that have fig programs and whatnot. I know I got some good information from them as well, and so just look at anywhere you can. You do Google searches, talk to people. One of the cool things we used to do is we used to drive around and just look for fig trees.
Oh yeah, that was always a fun thing.
Because fig trees are, once you kind of know what they look like, they're kind of easy to spot.
Yeah.
So you would see a fig tree, and if a branch was growing into the street, you know, we would just
Snip a branch, yeah.
take a friendly branch, you know, and
Yep.
see if you could work with it.
We've even found figs growing out in the country on
Those are the-
abandoned properties or
those
next to canal banks or whatever.
Those are the
and-
fun ones.
Yeah.
If they look like they might be growing wild and they have fruit on them, that's always fun.
It's really fun when they're actually in season and you get to try the fruit and then you say, oh, that's a good fruit. You know, I'm gonna take a branch off of it so I can grow that variety. You know, so they're kind of unknown, air quotes on that, unknown varieties that.
A lot of trees have like a little bit of history about them, you know.
Yeah.
And
Well, one of the varieties that we've been, everybody wants is, this one right here, the Figo Preto, is
it's very similar to Black Madeira.
Yeah, Black Madeira. I might go ahead and show a Black Madeira tree right now. Maybe I'll zoom over there to the backyard. But we have a few of them.
I would show them the one by the house. That's probably the best in-ground one that we have.
Yeah, I think I have a short video showing the Black Madeira earlier in the summer when there was some fruit on it. I think I did a small video on it. But that's kind of like the most sought after variety. And
there's a lot of good varieties.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. And at one point we had probably over 200 trees here in our nursery, but
we had to cut back.
We had a family kind of tragedy a while back, and
but honestly,
things just kind of slowed down for a little while, but we never stopped. We kept going. And
any advice I would just tell you is if a fig tastes good, grow it.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have to be the most nice fig or anything.
Yeah,
like that.
and it's like anything. It's all subjective. You know, I can say like, oh, the mamey is like the best fruit in the world. You know, that's just my opinion, but you just gotta find out for yourself. You know, there's people out there that I'm sure there's people that love brown turkey figs, and they can't get enough of them, and that's cool. That's fine. It's whatever your personal preference is.
I also wanted to say figs are really great to eat and fresh.
Yeah.
But they also they lend themselves pretty good to cooking as well.
Yeah.
You can put you can open them up and put almonds in them and goat cheese. You can
make jelly out of them.
Make jelly out of them. You can do a lot of stuff.
Put them in a salad.
Yeah, they're good. They're really good. And fig jam is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Preserve is fig jam. They have a really good flavor. It's and they go really well with a lot of the other Middle Eastern cuisine. Like they just taste really good with that.
Charcuterie boards.
Yeah, they taste good with like prosciutto and stuff like that. Cheeses.
Yeah.
Pieces of fruit. But again, you're not really gonna get a fig unless a good one, a good nice ripe one, unless you grow it yourself. It's just they don't compare to the store-bought ones at all.
Yeah.
The dried ones, even the dried ones that are pretty good.
On a little side note here, I know.
There's pizza.
Thank you, Mom.
We got it's pomegranate season. I made a little video earlier, and I think last week or maybe a couple weeks ago. We're still getting pomegranates. These are excellent. These are the wonderful variety. That tree just keeps. This came off of the first fruit tree I ever planted. The first tree I ever planted was a wonderful pomegranate, and that was back in 2010. I was probably 18 years old. In my 30s now, and so you can do it. Anybody who wants to do this stuff, you can do it, and you don't have to have a lot of money. We started out when we were just some broke kids, and we've just been doing it. And, we put in a little bit of money here and there because you want to grow some stuff, and that's fine. But yeah, you don't need a bunch of money. You don't need to have all the fancy stuff. You can just, like my brother was saying, like, you don't even have to order cuttings off of, eBay or anything if you don't want to, or you don't have access to it, or you don't have the money. Just, use what you got. You go around town, look for fruit trees, collect seeds, collect cuttings, and just make, you can make friends doing this stuff, and people even make a pretty good living. Yeah, if you get real good at it, you can start a nursery. You can sell plants. We don't sell plants. This is all just.
They make really good presents also.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we've done that before too. Most people can appreciate a fig tree. And they just look cool too. That's the other thing, I guess. Like, they kind of, like, when they're actually green and they're growing, they kind of look almost tropical. You know what I mean? So, but that's it. That's how we clone. That's how we clone our fig trees. We got a bunch of them, and we have some in the ground as well. I might zoom over here real quick. I've shown some of these in other videos, but everything's going dormant right now, so they're starting to turn their leaves, drop them. This is a Violet de Bordeaux. We planted this one back in 2013. It's a pretty large tree. I mean, look at the size of it. That's the house. I mean, and that right there in the middle is a Desert King. Planted this row of trees here. Planted all these at the same time. That one is a panache or a tiger stripe fig. You see how tall they are. I mean, they're big. This is a Tango Mandarin, grafted, loaded with fruit this year. I mean, it's just completely chock full of them. I mean, look at that. Every branch has fruit on it. So, like I said, I'm kind of into like zone pushing, so I got some coconut palms growing out here in the desert. I planted a few of them over the summer, so I'll keep updating on how those do. This is a dwarf Puerto Rican plantain. I think this was like a tissue culture that I planted back during the summer. This is the avocado pit that I threw out here because I just throw all of our kitchen waste out here. This is purple Molokai sweet potato. It's a Hawaiian variety of sweet potato. But anyway, there's a avocado pit that just germinated all by itself out here in the ground, and it's got multiple stems. So there's like three stems in there. Actually, the ice cream banana, or blue java as they call it. It's supposed to be a really cold hardy variety. It's doing all right. This is a Namois. This is a dwarf Namois. I don't know if there's a tall variety, but this is a dwarf Namois. This one's doing really good. Got some couple other fig trees in here. There's, Black Mission. This is also a Black Mission. Citrus in the back over there. We got lemons. This is kind of like a new area that I planted over the summer. This space wasn't really being utilized, so, and it's close to the house, sort of zone 1, if you want to call it. Planted a couple of Djibouti kava trees in the ground. There's one there. They're both the Sabara, the common variety. It's like the most common Djibouti kava variety, and this one's doing really good. It's pushing out a lot of new growth. I've been fertilizing this one with just fish emulsion and Hollytone. It's kind of soil acidifier because these enjoy a little more of a acidic soil. That's chaya. Got a bunch of stuff. Strawberry guava. There's a lemon guava. We got bamboo. Another coconut. It's a green Malayan. The other one over there was sold to me as a green Maypan. Don't know if it really is true, but we'll see how they do. Cecropia peltata, gummy worm fruit. Over there I have a Cecropia polystachya, or white Cecropia. That one's doing pretty good. Ice cream bean, blood oranges. There's a few more fig trees. Here's one of the black Madeiras. And this one's going dormant, as you can see. So, pretty cool stuff. Just a quick view. Little food forest going on over here. Anyway, that's it.